that actually went like defended.
I think it's like.
All right, we're finally there. People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. Big up the Twitch gang. One love to everybody that's tuned in. I appreciate it. Make sure you're hitting the sub button and you're hitting the follow button. And obviously, get your opinions, talking points, all of those things there in, people. Again, you know, it can go... Just you lot, again, I always say it, I'm proud of the platforms that I have because it's always thought-provoking, it's always decent discussion and things. I can't lie to you lot, people. I just jumped out the shower and I had to make sure my face was creamed and that. And obviously, man, got to apply the roll-on. And I can't lie to you, one of the lights isn't on. I'll be real with you lot, people. Time management skills, I will give my time management skills. Do you know what? I'm actually good at time management skills. Is when it's multiple things. I would say I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Clearly, that's meaty and it can improve. So I apologize, people. I'm still here. I'm just making sure this light there is plugged in. Let's plug that into the lappy. And then I don't know if you'll see a difference. I definitely will because it's going to be cooking me because the thing there up and that. But it is what it is. Let me turn that on. Let's go. Now, obviously, throughout the course of this video, people, we're going to speak about the Champions League. I've seen Conte's comments, little ones and twos and all of those sort of things. Again, it's a jam-packed day where content is concerned, people, because I don't even know technically how much content, but bare content. Obviously, today, we're here now until when we're done, we go over to YouTube, you know, putting in our work over there from 11:30 till whenever. So, yeah, here from 10, over there 11:30. I'm going to have Graham from AFTV. I'll put the rerun on YouTube when the time's right. But I'm going to have him here on Twitch. So I'd appreciate you lot getting your questions in. I've asked you lot on the YouTube's community tab. And then finishing up, we're going to play Football Manager. And obviously, as we're gearing up to the weekend, Man City Derby, Arsenal, Watford. I'm probably going to do West Ham, Liverpool. There's hella content to come, people, again. And tomorrow we're going to be live again. What is Thursday? 10 a.m. tomorrow where Twitch is concerned. Same thing again, folks. So one love to everybody that's tuned in. Most importantly, I hope everyone and their loved ones has their mental, physical, spiritual health, all of that stuff. Hope you've all been having a good week, moving that much closer to your goals, hopes, dreams, and aspirations. If not, I hope you're moving that much further to overcoming adversity and them things there, people. So yeah, you know, big up whoever this is, you know, seems like a handsome young lad, you know, big up the nation, big up DG Nation, big up everybody locked in. Good morning, folks. Get your talking points, opinions, and questions in. And whoever this is has been on the ball because they're saying 11:30 a.m. YouTube live stream. Man said, I'm eating popcorn, waiting for Conte to ruin his rep. Now we're going to look at Conte's comments. I hope you're right, but I wouldn't say I'm scared, but I think he's going to do something 30. I think Spurs might return to the glory days under Pochettino that ended with a grand total of 0 trophies, but it is what it is. Good morning, DG. Caught you early, 6 a.m. here. Big up yourself, my guy. I appreciate that. Spurs not finishing top 4. That squad is way too dead. I have to reload this comment. I'm eating popcorn, waiting for Conte to ruin his rep. Inshallah, I can't lie, man. No rant show today. I don't have time, man. I don't have time really, and obviously mental health. I'm gonna be exhausted because what I'm gonna do my thing here. 11:30. I'm gonna head over to the gym as well quickly. There's simply just no time. Big up Rants and Matisse. They're gonna have to do it without me, and then obviously, you got Graham. I'm just not gonna have the time. Like you know, I can't. I'm not invincible, man. I'm gonna be knackered, broski. It's one of them ones. West Ham could do a number on that Liverpool defense. I hope so, but I think it's a mazza, really, if I'm honest with you. Bowen, I think he might get a call up to the England squad today, if I'm honest with you. How did FM go yesterday? Was busy. I'm not going to ruin it because it is going to end up on YouTube. I'm not going to ruin it for you. And obviously, I'm pretty sure you're following on Twitch, and you don't need to get into the habit of treating Twitch like YouTube and checking out the previous streams. That was a shorter stream because I just used it as a time filler, quick little 3 to 4, and then prepared for the champs. But today we'll have a bit longer. But it was calm, man. We got to January, so we're seeing what we can do in the transfer market. Obviously, Aubameyang and the rest of the African players where Arsenal are concerned are going off and playing in the AFCON, so we're going to have to react. Big up again, people. It means a lot to everybody that's subscribed and following on Twitch. Subscribe for free with Amazon Prime to support the channel as well. Abs, Abs, hold your Anthony question, please. I'm going to speak about that at 11:30. I don't know why it was in the title here. I must have StreamYard's moving mad again, or I must have been just copy and pasting things. But it is what it is, people. So yeah, man, appreciate everybody that's locked in. Let's get into what we're actually here for now. Let's start with the Champions League. If I'm completely honest with you, because that's where it should start, really. Obviously, Lewandowski, 100 appearances in the Champions League, got a hat trick to match. Even was nice enough to miss a penalty. Gnabry and Sane running riot. You know, Barcelona, Asu Fati getting them a win. Real Madrid, Benzema saving the day. You know, Havertz still kind of failing. We'll speak about Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid in a second because we did a watch along for that. Milan versus Porto. I can't lie, Milan are quite shit in it. You know. Is their league position a false position? Obviously, Ronaldo is doing his thing. Pochettino needs to leave my club because he's struggling too much. You know, Ronaldo embrace and Mbappe playing quite well couldn't save them. Okonku's doing his thing, and in a World Cup year or a year where he's playing well, it's a bit not upsetting, but it's a bit of a shame he's not really getting a look in where in my opinion, anyways, where national teams is concerned. If Guendouzi can be called up, not saying he doesn't deserve it, but surely then Okonku's without a doubt has an opportunity as well. So it was an interesting day, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going way over the top and way too OTT with the Michael Jordan comparisons to Ronaldo. I mean, are you really going to do that against an Atalanta side where you've drawn 2-2, hardly a legacy? But yeah, Man United didn't lose. In fact, well, they lost Varane for a significant period of time. So to run through this week's Champions League fixtures, obviously you've got, I assume, Antonio Conte's first game today, Spurs against Vitesse, and you got your Conference League and Europa League and all them things today. But where the Champions League's concerned, over the last 2 days, 48 hours, folks, why has it moved? Chelsea defeated Malmo a goal to nil. Again, wasn't quite the free scoring game that it was meant to be based on the first leg. Chelsea had 22 shots, 11 on target, but I would say it was quite lackluster. I think Hudson-Odoi did well. I think Loftus-Cheek had some cute touches. I think the defenders did well. Hakim Ziyech probably scored, but you probably want a bit more. It's another game, and it's the level of opposition where Havertz against Malmo and Norwich, where he hasn't looked to score. It's not that he hasn't looked to score. His movement's been well, but he spends too long on the floor. He's a bit too flimsy. Hitting his finishing needs to improve. He's just been on the cusp of things, and I think considering you cost 90 million and there's spots up for grabs, I don't think he grabbed his opportunities, if I'm completely honest with you. Bit more of a committed performance from Malmo. Naturally, they're going to do that. They're in front of their home fans. What is my laptop telling me? 13%. So the charger's not plugged in now. Everything is going mad, isn't it, people? Everything is going mad today. Hey, we don't need no mistakes. Where is my charging wire? Why is it not making the sex noise on the laptop? When it gets inserted. Why is it not? Yo, Lappy, we don't need this today. Sorry, folks, I'm still here, but if this laptop dies, speak for us. I'm sure I bought another charging wire as well. So what's all this about? I might have to go downstairs where my boxes and get it, folks. Sorry, folks. Again, this is what makes the streams authentic, and that, I guess, because there's some errors there. So just before we crack on, let me actually go and get that, folks. I'm still here. We in trouble. We in big trouble if we don't solve this, people. We in some big trouble. Had the wire, I just bought this from Amazon, Sorry, folks. Again, this is a mad thing. I don't know what this is. You see, this is what I hate about content. You can just wake up and just things you didn't plan for are gonna be what cripples you. Now I can't find that wire, and I should have put it down somewhere. God, please. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties, man. If you're finding this entertaining, big up to you. But this is filling me with extreme anxiety. Where the fuck did I put it? This is why you should put things down, in life. You should put things down. So I'm torn between finding this charger and trying to get this thing and trying to get the old one to work. No. Oh, if I knew today was going to be this eventful, eh? If I knew today was going to be this eventful. Sorry, folks. There's nothing I can do. It's just going to get peak, you know. Please work, man. Imagine if the laptop did not send me that alert, I might have to log this off, people, car. I don't want it to die on me, though. What the fuck, man? Shit, we into trouble. Aye, we survived. Again, technical difficulties over. Oh shit, almost breaking up the set. Let's go again, people. We go again. Apologies for that. That was a mazza. Let's start all over again, people, with that Champions League. Let's make another timestamp. Or fuck it, let's keep it. So yeah, as I was saying, no one from a Chelsea perspective grabbed their opportunities in my opinion. But saying that, Hakim Ziyech started and he scored. Wolfsburg versus Salzburg, 2-1. Again, Wolfsburg won 2-1. Villarreal won 2-0 against Young Boys. So again, Manchester United's group is fully up for grabs. And that if Man United go out, they only have themselves to blame. If Atalanta don't go through, you should have taken 6 points off Manchester United. You struggle to hold on to your goal lead, so you might be out. AC Milan probably been the worst performers for me. I'm jumping ahead a bit in the Champions League, but they've gone from 0 points to 1. Juventus won 4-2 against Zenit, and Dybala, Brace, Chiesa, Morata also scored, sandwiched in between 2 goals from Zenit. Bayern Munich, as I just said, Lewandowski bagged a hat-trick and missed a penalty. By Lewandowski's standards, that penalty has no place in non-league. Sane and Gnabry, such is life where Bayern Munich are concerned, also on the score sheet. Lille came from behind to win 2-1, courtesy of Ikone and Jonathan David, cancelling out Ocampos' 50th minute strike for Sevilla. Barca, courtesy of Asu Fati, won 1-0. As I said, it was 2-2 where Manchester United and Atalanta were concerned. Obviously, completely different game from the last leg at Old Trafford. I feel both teams, there wasn't much space. Both teams went with 3 at the back and whatnot, and there weren't really much space. I don't think McTominay and Pogba worked as a pivot together. Sancho, Van der Beek and somebody else came off the bench and were quite positive. Obviously, it's the Ronaldo show. I think all them comments are Ronaldo don't press, he don't work for the team, he don't do this and won't do that, put to bed. He deserved his goals just for vintage Cristiano Ronaldo. The second goal was dramatic. The equalizer was something else. But he deserved it just on the basis of him working. And I think them young players at United could learn a thing. United is still United, look a bit disillusioned. Varane saving people's bacon a lot of the times, but considering they rushed him back, he played against Spurs, and maybe if there wasn't so much pressure on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with the Manchester derby on Saturday, he might have said, I'm not playing him, and he played him. Bailly is Mr. Unorthodox with some of his approaches to defending, but I think he arguably was Man United's man of the match, excluding Ronaldo. I think Bailly, considering I couldn't tell you the last time he started, potentially even played for United, I think Bailly had a very, very convincing game, an important game, and made a number of blocks and got people out of jail several times, really and truly. From an Atalanta perspective, Gasperini, great team, but they need to be able to hold on to leads, play fantastic football. Again, Ilic scored the opener. They bought them for that. Zapata was working well. Again, it's the same old where United are concerned. Harry Maguire's just not caught up to this standard. Varane is now injured. Luke Shaw didn't have the best of games. Rashford looked anonymous. Bruno, again, to be fair, the goal United scored, the first one, that was sublime play by everyone involved. I think Greenwood had an important cameo off the bench as well, but that's kind of where it ended. So for me, that group is still firmly open. Sporting defeated Besiktas 4-0. Milan versus Porto. Now, Milan versus Porto, it was tiresome. Porto looked the more experienced side. Porto should have finished their dinner in the first half. They should have won 3-4 more. Tonali's got a lot of ability, but he's playing like Højbjerg. Calabria is not good enough, and he got subbed, deservedly so. Ramagnoli, felt sorry for him. Tata Ramasanu, the keeper, rubbish. Rafael, I think people are gassing the performance, extremely overrated based on what I saw in that game. Diaz in the 10 wasn't working. Salamanca's running into blind alleys. Benassi and Tonali showing their age. Giroud like a Ibrahimovic, sorry, off the bench, even though he scored an offside goal. Ibrahimovic, anonymous, if I'm completely honest with you. Again, Ajax defeated Dortmund 3-1, and again, dramatic people. Last 20-minute drama. Tadic, Haller, and Klaassen gave Ajax three goals to take with 3 points, and don't think it was a red card for Hummels, but Haller can't stop scoring, and considering the fact that he's played in Germany, maybe that was a bookie's favourite to get on the score sheet, and he's telling Ronaldo and Messi, listen, the Champions League is my thing, really, and we're going to focus on Anthony later, but Anthony had a solid game. Ajax have a number of players. Gravenberch, Anthony, the manager Ten Hag. I think this might be his last season. I think United might go for him. Sheriff were defeated 3-1 as well. Against Inter Milan. Man City won 4-1. Obviously, Raheem Sterling ended his goal drought. Sterling, Mahrez, Jesus, and Foden all on the score sheet. John Stone scored an own goal. Pochettino needs to leave my club because we dropped points courtesy of last-minute drama with Kimpembe being Kimpembe, conceding a penalty all over in Concu, if I can remember correctly. PSG and Leipzig drew 2-2. And again, it's a typical one. Again, I don't think PSG have anything to worry about. We will be going through. We've got 8 points to Man City's 9, but we needed to win that, really. Leipzig, can still go qualify for Europa, but it's a big ask, really. They sit bottom of that group. And shout to Club Brugge. They're on course to actually make it there. And, Liverpool versus Atletico. Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 0. Is Simeone's football stale? Because it seems like there's no plan B. It seems like his team just start moving like babies and fouling and arguing amongst themselves. It is quite stale. It can't get the best out of attacking players. They never quite look mentally prepared for what was about them at Anfield. And Liverpool didn't even have to be at their best, which, again, is testament to them. Salah took the night off in terms of scoring, had some lovely 1-2 tricks. Trent Alexander-Arnold, to call him a great passer is an understatement. We all saw the cross. For the goals Liverpool scored, it's like Atletico Madrid didn't do their homework on the last game or didn't do their homework on Liverpool at all. Mane and Jota unmarked. I think the referee tried it, a couple of referees, Martin Tyler, with the Dortmund game. I think in this game, the referee tried to make it all about him. Why he sent off Felipe, I know he's told him to come in, he doesn't. There's an issue there. And I think it was actually the biggest tactical decision Klopp did was actually clipping Mane, because it looked like he just didn't like Mane. Mane was probably going to join Felipe of Atletico Madrid in getting sent off at a point. So that's where the Champions League's concerned, man. What else are you lot saying? Sorry for the technical difficulties. Simeone's overrated. I wouldn't say he's overrated. It's rubby now. Like, I think the cycle's left you. I think people have clocked what Atletico are on. Like, they're still a good team. I just think it's been clocked. I think it's too stale. I don't see the evolution, if I'm honest with you. Good on Simeone for not shaking hands. Rona is still about. I watched Milan DG. Them man ain't minerals in the Champions League yet. They're still Europa level. And I don't even think they're that, car. That's why they got a point. They're bottom. It looks like I don't say this all the time, but I think Arsenal could beat AC Milan. I think that's one team I look at and I'm like, Giroud might do a thing, Ibrahimovic might do a thing, but I think man can beat them, really and truly, I really think you could beat them. I think they look like a bunch of individuals. I just think Porto looked like they had a team it looked like a better manager, a manager that understands what he's doing with his team. The team looked a bit more street smart. It was a bit more of a functioning unit. And as we have seen in almost every league game across all the top 5 divisions this season, and like we see as Premier League fans week in, week out, you can be on top of a side. All of the, like, I think Porto should have been 5-0 up in the first half. They wasn't, though. I can't lie. AC Milan hit back in the second half and showed them 1-2 levels. And on the balance of things, a point is probably the fair result. But for me, I think Porto were better than them. But it's cup competition. It don't matter who's better. People walk away with a share of the spoils. All this will help Arsenal. Competition in North London spicy now. Serie A, they're doing their thing, but only Juventus has Champions League pedigree to an extent. I hear you. Kind of an awkward question, but what do you think of Rance's take on Ronaldo still being a detriment to the squad and the way they play? One love to Rance and his opinion, and I hear it, but I don't agree with it. I get it because it's the same logic with Juventus. I feel first things first. I don't know if this is applicable to Man United, but when you got someone who's obviously a great player, but a big player like Ronaldo, and the team, there's no iron team, but the team has to probably be about 80% him, 20% tactical and whatnot. That is going to harm the team, whether it's going to harm them in relation to have to overcompensate for Ronaldo. I know he tracks back and whatnot, but he ain't going to run around aimlessly, so they might have to overcompensate in that regards. Obviously, from a mental point of view, UD's probably at United and probably at Juventus, like Benucci said when he left. You kind of lose you kind of lose the team's individual identity, and it becomes a Ronaldo thing or whatever. So that could harm. I don't know if it's applicable, but I remember when Henry left the Emirates, he was saying like certain players, because of who he was, he didn't feel certain man would show their personality and whatnot when he was, in 06. So maybe there's a bit of that with Ronaldo. You do see other individuals, Sarri couldn't deal with the Ronaldo thing. The Juventus players are talking about it all the time. But saying that, based on what I am seeing right now as a neutral, I hear it. It makes sense, but I don't see how Ronaldo's the problem. I think Ronaldo is doing what he's doing. I know there was a crisis because he didn't score for 4 games, but without Ronaldo, you're messing things up. Should United have probably went for Ronaldo? As much as you can say that about the world, one of the best players, if not the best player in the world, arguably one of the best players performing right now as well. You can't really sit there and say they shouldn't have bought him and it's at the detriment. But maybe where United are, they might have benefited from doing the Atalanta thing where obviously United is different, but there's not many stars in that Atalanta team. There's an individual identity where United have all the star-studded lineup and things, and they should have walked the floor with them if it was a that thing. So I hear it. It doesn't really tie into the long-term planning, but I think Ronaldo is doing what he's doing. I think if these defenders stop making these stupid mistakes, if United address that midfield, 50%. They need to just sign some better options there, in my opinion. 50% Oli or whoever making it a functional unit, then there'd be a thing. If you're gonna sign any player like Ronaldo, like Messi and them man at PSG, you're gonna need Ronaldo to listen to what you're saying from a tactical point of view. But these players are the icing on top of the cherry. They cake. The team has to be a functional unit, like with City, with where I wouldn't say they relied on Aguero. They need a striker, but the system didn't need that striker to keep going. I think that's what United need. Your system needs to be able to live without Ronaldo, and then he enhances the thing, if that makes sense to you, bro. But I wouldn't say it's the detriment to the squad, car. He's pulling his finger out, and no one else is doing their thing, really and truly. It might come a point where they might need to move him on and whatnot. People clipping you up, bro. Hey, man, I don't mind that, man. Clip up the thing. We need some engagement. What can I say, man? It's real life, man. I had to find the charger in it. I can't lie. I'm just happy that it didn't cut out. It could have been awkward. Hi, bro. How you doing? I'm good, my guy. I hope you're doing better, man. I hope you and everyone's doing well. I'm blessed to be here with you lot. You lot offering 1, 2 comments and opinions and the rest of it. It could be a lot worse. As I said, blessed to have that, man. DG probably watching United thinking how they're here, but we aren't. No, I wouldn't say that. Arsenal are not there because we fucked him up. Well, Ronaldo's the gaffer, man. By his quality. I mean, United fans used to take it far and say he's better than Van Dijk and all these things that is not true and the best in the league, but he's a good player, man. Would you take Zapata at Arsenal on the basis of Lacazette is leaving? Yeah, but probably need to move. But Poch is stinking up the place at PSG, man. He needs to stinking up the place. I wouldn't say he's underrated at all, by therefore within the context of them things, probably. Porto had them, man. Pat Milan can play, but in the Champions League they've been dreadful, and that's the bread and butter, man. That would be a battle between Partey and Kessié, but I wouldn't be surprised if we beat them. I think we can beat Milan. I don't rate Milan. I don't necessarily rate my team. Ronaldo is only a problem because of the lack of system. If we were a team who created tons of chance for him, we wouldn't be having we would be having another conversation, and that's it for me, really. Ronaldo, you should be able to separate Man United and Ronaldo. I think just like with Juventus, quickly, because United had no identity anyways prior to Ronaldo arriving. You can't separate it purely from a playing perspective. Your dark horse is to win the Champions League. You know what? For the neutrals, I don't think they will because there's no romance in football. But I'll give it Ajax. I'll say Ajax. It could even be United. It's 9 times out of 10, it's the team stinking up the place. Chelsea was stinking up the place in the group stages. Look how they're laughing. So it could be that. So I would say I'd love it to be Ajax, but I just think that young squad when they buck serious teams and whatnot, not that they won't play well, but they will show their age. come to United. To be honest, I think Ten Hag is the one that's going to be going United until things change. Now, there'll probably be a lot of managers available. Poch, in my opinion, but I just think this Ajax thing, they're gonna go quite far, have some credibility, and then I think, when teams start getting torn up, I think someone's gonna have a look at Gravenberch and say, you know what, boom, we're having you. Anthony's starting to up his performances. People might say, we're having you. Ten Hag, the gaffer's gone. Probably other 1-2 couple other players here, there, and everywhere. United firmly stuck in the past, and I was there along with Paul. This will continue many years still. I hear you. I hear you. But I just think United need competent individuals around the club, off the field, and obviously where the managerial position is concerned, and on the field, because I don't see any competencies. I'm sorry, but listen, I know Pogba's going to get scapegoated, but Pogba and McTominay don't work. 9 times out of 10 is Fred and McTominay. Again, come on now. United should be used in the third group stage game where people are being rest. That should be a cup formation, a cup midfield. That shouldn't be a midfield where there's probably a strong chance it starts at Manchester Derby. It's not got enough. And I think, considering, just because I'm not a fan of United and I've done a lot of watch-alongs concerning United, it just appears, pardon me, you win that midfield battle. Not that there's much to win. You win the midfield battle. You've won the game, or you complicate things where United are concerned. It's very predictable how to beat United or how to cause problems and frustrate them. They need to go past just signing stars and all of these sort of things, people, if I'm completely honest with you. I appreciate everybody who's locked on. Please make sure you're following and subscribing and whatnot, and keep bringing in your opinions, man. Ten Hag and Van der Vaart as football director makes sense. I mean, is Van der Vaart doing that one? I don't know. Is Van der Vaart doing the is that his post game career? I don't even know, people. But yeah, that's that with where the Champions League's concerned, people. I don't know if Firmino was also injured as well, but again, he was subbed and then subbed off where obviously his team were concerned. Let's speak about Conte. Conte speaks Tottenham, and Conte's been talking bossy about Tottenham. And for what it's worth, again, my opinions on Tottenham, I think he can't do it overnight, but I think he'll restore a lot for them. And Conte will do what Conte's doing. Obviously, I don't know if he's going to go with the 3-5-2, but I think people call Conte negative and defensive, and I hear it. I agree with it. He doesn't strike you as an attacking coach and things like that. But I don't think it's fair. You can't praise the Lautaro and Lukaku partnership from last season for Inter and say he's negative. One thing that I think he's going to do a bit better. Listen, I don't think like is kind of going on to my comments here. CeeLo, this is why I like you. We see football similar. On the topic of making scrubs work. Listen, you're not gonna get much out of Skip and Højbjerg in the midfield. But I do think the mentality between those two players would change. So you will see an uptake in performance, like you will with a managerial bounce and things like that. I think, you look at Nuno. Nuno doesn't want to go forward. I think Conte will sit there and say, you lot need to pass the ball forward. So I think there'll be more of an emphasis on, I assume, Skip and Højbjerg to pass the ball forward, Ndombele if he's there. With exception of Ndombele, I'm saying you'll see that them pivot men play a bit better. You only have to go back to Kante. Kante isn't an amazing passer. But if you look at Kante when he was doing his thing at Leicester to how he's evolved now, not because he's just been playing forever, he's evolved a lot. Everyone go back to Conte's comments at Chelsea. Kante was just winning the ball back. Everyone was happy with that. Conte was like, listen, I like that, but he needs to be more progressive. So I think Spurs' midfield is going to improve. The wing backs are probably going to start getting assists and whatnot. There's going to be an emphasis. I'm keen to see if he goes with a 3-5-2. Will he play Kane as the 10? Will he actually put Son there and go with Moore as a striker? Will it be Son and Kane where we'll see a revival of their partnership? I think he will do a lot. And I think, considering there's still over 20 games to play in the league, there's a lot to play for. 18-month contract. Conte has to have a sense of urgency. So I do think it's a big signing for Spurs. And he's spoken bossy about them and about what they could do and things like that, people. And actually yesterday I said, if my boy who's a Spurs fan is free, I would call him. So hopefully he's free. Let's try this so he can offer some opinions, folks. What are you lot saying in the comments? Don't leave me hanging, because you said you'd be good for this. You can't trust IC3 sometimes, man. Yeah, he's gonna flop me. You see, I told him I'm gonna be on Twitch. I can't get you live because you're working. Let me grab you and get you up. Yo, that's awkward. That's the VAR. That's the man said VAR. That's the voice now. Well, so yeah, Dale. I know you're gonna listen to this on the replay. He done a man dirty, but Kane will go and he'll sign 2 or 3. What, Kane in January? I don't know, man. I think Conte and Kane are gonna have a conversation. I can't lie. If I'm Kane, Conte will make a bit like when Jose walked in. I would sit there and think, oh, what's going on here? You know what? Let me try and upgrade under this guy. Conte's walk the walk that I want to kind of walk in. Let me learn under him. Let me uptake my form and all of these things. And I think Conte will sit there and be real with him and say, listen, if anything, you can go, but you need to up it. But at the same time, they might say, listen, let's sell him, rebuild the squad. I don't think it's wise to sell Kane in the summer. I mean, in January, because you were saying over 100 mil. If I'm your City, I'm sitting there and saying, boy, you 75 thing now. Kane ain't doing much. And plus, everyone in January doesn't want to sell their top strikers, even the most informed strikers. If we just say, for instance, Spurs want to buy Ajax's Hallier, or Kareem Adeyemi's doing a thing right now. Isak's doing something. Vlahovic. None of these clubs are going to want to move these players on in January unless something ridiculous is spent, because they're going to have to bring a next one. And obviously, if everybody knows Spurs need a striker anyways, but if they know you need a striker, what are you going to do naturally? You're going to up the rate. So I'm not too sure for doing mad rebuilds in January and all those sort of things. Now, I don't know any Spurs content creators in that. I mean, we watch Expressions and laugh because he's great at what he does, but I don't know anything other than that. But on Antonio Conte himself, people, if I scroll down, apparently the Spurs head coach, vows to bring consistency and play attractive football, people. Let me go all the way down. He said it's an honor to be the club's new coach. And I mean, no one seems to bring up his old Spurs comments, but he told Spurs TV, my coaching philosophy is very simple: to play good and attractive football for our fans, to have a stable team, not up and down. And I think anyone, especially where Spurs are concerned, they want that stability. You want to be a stable top 6+ side. You want to play attractive football and play good football, things that Nuno could not do. I think the fans deserve to have a competitive team, and that's one thing he won't accept, And if it is, he will walk away. They need competitiveness, something that can't be said when they played United. I think the fans deserve to have a competitive team with a will to fight. I'll do everything to deserve their support. This type of situation pushes you and increases the desire to work and to do something important for the fans of this club. This is a great opportunity and honor to become the manager. Scrolling all the way down, people, he said, the past is important and I'm proud. For me, the new challenge is Tottenham. I want them to become an important part of my career as manager. The club and Daniel Levy wanted me strongly. There was a call from Tottenham this summer, but I was very clear with Tottenham because I had just finished, with Inter Milan after an important season, a tough season, and honestly, it wasn't the right time to start another experience. I prefer to wait to enjoy the time away with my family, and also because I think emotionally I was still with the last experience at Inter. Tottenham are an important club in England and an important club in the world. And I think my man them is calling me. Yo.
Hello.
Yeah, we saying fellow. You're on DG Nation, mate.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that, man. I was in a meeting, bro.
Hey, you're capping for the fans, way. Hey, you're killing me. As a Spurs fan, as a Spurs fan, what are you saying for Conte? Like, where you at with Conte? Where's you at with Nuno? How you feeling? Where's it going? Is there concerns?
I just want to see attacking football with some goals, man. They can't be having this one goal a game to anymore. It's a joke, man.
But
Nuno needed to go. He was terrible. It was awful, man. I'm just happy to see this. He's gone. I'm so happy.
what was it? What was wrong with Nuno? Like, obviously we all know it was wrong, but what was, like, as a Spurs fan, like, what was really wrong? When did the alarm bell start ringing in your head?
Alarm bell started ringing from the Palace game. So before the game started, hours before kickoff, you see the lineup. You see 3 people in midfield: Winks, Skip, Højbjerg. No creativity. You got loads of attacking players on the bench, and then you think, what's going on? What's going on here? The formation isn't right. Players don't want to go forwards. Just like, guys don't want to play for you. Not putting their work in. No heart in the performances. It's just, yeah, man. That was from there, and that's like the first London derby. Then you went on to Chelsea, and then not same again. Nothing. Played it right for a bit, but then second half crumbled, and then Arsenal, nothing. You scored a goal in the game at least, but still no performance. Yeah, just continued. It's just, yeah. I think from then, that's when the board was looking at replacement manager. he revived himself for 2 games, and then that was all over from the Man United game. Like, and also in the Europa League games, shocking performances.
Yeah, man. Would you make of that? Because there's been times that I've seen him rest players, say I'm not taking players, and then it's just looked silly in Europe.
Yeah, that's the problem. He should never have come out and said that. I think he should have, yes, take a weaker squad, but also bring some players. Might not even have to play them, just bring some players for team morale and that. You can't just divide the camp and say, oh, these are my best players, these are my crap players, and then that's it. It's just like, you need to have a mix of both. In some games, like, away, okay, you want to play the youth guys, but have some, like, proper players there, centre-backs, especially, like, we went to, that Portuguese team, man, and we played all youngsters, Dane Scarlett, now John in midfield, and Ganga.
Romero's that first game or something, innit?
I understand you want to see them, but you can do that in a training session. You can have like private games where you see this against other people. You don't need to do this for like the rest of the fans to see. Like,
was he just not? Was he just not ready for Spurs then? And obviously, like, who do you blame for Nuno's time then? Because obviously we can blame the man, but then when you look back in the summer, it seemed like he was. I don't even want to say a top 10 target. It seemed like, okay, cool. You know what? We'd rather you than everyone. We've tried to get everyone pop out from you. So it's like, do you blame the club? Because the Nuno thing probably shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, exactly that. It's blaming Nuno leaving. He shouldn't be there in the first place. It's not. It is his fault because he made all these decisions, but again, he shouldn't be the guy making the decisions. So, yeah, it's down to Levy and that. But from I don't know, man. It's being 8th manager didn't help him. But his confidence must have been shot from that. He must have thought he's not good enough. He's just been sacked by the Wolves. They thought he wasn't going anywhere. Wasn't playing progressive football. So if you can't play progressive football at Wolves, how are you going to do it at Spurs? The fans
That's true.
Far more than you.
I mean, obviously, like, would you say probably he was closer to leaving against Spurs, against United than we knew? Because looking back at that game, you know, the fans were letting him have it. You know, they were done. You know, they were voting with their voices. You know, obviously he took off Lucas Moore, and I look back to that game. He looked like a man that probably knew, if I don't get a result today, I'm gone. Like you said, after the Palace game, contacts must have started with new gaffers and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, correct.
That's a mazza. So we obviously, so looking at Conte now, yeah, what's the task now? Once you get past the euphoria of obviously Conte's your manager and that, like, when we break down the nuts and bolts, what is the task he has at hand, and what do you specifically want to see from him? What do you want to see with the midfield? What do you want to see with your players?
It's not just like a rebuild, because that's what everyone's going to say. You want to get new players. It's not that. I want to see him coach players. I want to see players get better. That's what I thought Nuno would do. I thought he'd be able to coach players and get players better. Like Skip's been okay, but he can develop into a far better midfielder, passing the ball forward.
I think Conte will do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Tanganga trying to coach these guys to improve. And I want to see like Sessegnon come through. Maybe he can be a good wing back.
Right, you might still screaming the Sessegnon thing.
That's what I'm saying. It gives opportunity to these guys to like players to step up and to prove themselves.
So
I don't think Nuno was doing that.
So I'll go on for a couple of players in particular. Like, if I start screaming some names, where are you at with what happens to Harry Kane? What would you want to see from Ndombele? Does Dele Alli get a revival? You know, these sort of guys, these names.
I don't know if everyone's going to get a chance. He's going to see how they play in training and stuff. Nuno learned to give everyone a chance on the pitch, but I think you should have your chance in training. If you're not performing, then you shouldn't play, like, even in training. So if Kane is up to it and he's ready, like, give him a chance. But if he's not performing in the matches, you've got to drop him as well. Like, that's what I'm saying. You have to have the confidence to be able to drop these guys. Yeah, Son is a good player, Harry Kane is a good player, and all these guys are good players. But if they're not performing, you've got to drop them. You have to show that. And that's what I think that these guys knew when Nuno was playing. All right, I might not play well this game, but I'm going to play the next match.
Yeah.
Because he only had one team sheet. He only stuck with the players he had. There was no competition for places. So that's what I want to see. Competition for places, players improve and try to work for the shirt.
I mean, as much as you can work for that toilet club, but I have to say for you. But last question before I let you go. Then, obviously, what is the task for Conte then? Car, like, I'm sure you're not expecting too many fireworks. He's taking through mid-season. Like, what is the goal for him then? Is this a free hit of a year?
We've had 5 losses I just want to see top 6 finish. Top 4 might be a bit realistic at this point. It might not be. It can be done. Like Jose nearly done it, but then like he messed up because of COVID or whatever. But yeah, I want to see maybe a top 6 finish and gotta get somewhere like serious in these competitions, man. Got to take conference league seriously, no matter what. Even though you play the youth guys, take it seriously. Train these guys to take it seriously. Want to win the competition. Got to go far in Carling Cup as well, whatever that competition, League Cup, whatever it's called. Yeah, just get like some ambition, man. Something.
In fact, last question, bro. Before I let you get out of here, Harry Kane, would you sell him in? Would you sell him in Jan?
If you get a good price for him, I personally would. To be honest.
What's a good price?
Over 100 mil.
You reckon he's still getting that?
I don't think we're gonna get 100. I don't think we're gonna get the 120 again. But I reckon over 100 mil. And if he doesn't perform by then, if he hasn't scored maybe 10 goals in the league by end of December, then yeah, I might as well, man.
Right, sound
might as well just cash in.
But this is what people I always tell you lot about this Spurs fan. People think I'll cap it, so I'm happy they can actually hear you, bro. Okay, no.
I'm just happy Nuno's gone, to be honest.
I know you're happy. I remember I told you, I told them about your texts and stuff. You said
I was telling you before, innit? He's got to go. Even before that Man United game, when I saw the lineup, I was like, gone, man. He's gone.
I mean, as a Spurs fan, yeah, like I mean, I have nothing to do with Spurs, but I remember watching that game, and I might be bugging out, but like, did he need to take off Lucas Moura? Because again, it looked like the world was saying that didn't need to happen.
Everyone was saying Lo Celso. Why was Lo Celso? Why did he say it? What is he doing? Ben Davies on the pitch and that. It's mad. It's madness. Lo Celso did nothing, giving bad passes away. That free ball to Son. As soon as he did that free ball to Son, I was screaming, take off Lo Celso. A man takes off Lucas Moura, the only guy actually trying to do stuff and look forward. I was like, no, I can't have this.
Fam, you sound stressed, fam. What you saying? You active, Leo?
Yeah, man, probably, man.
Shout me in it.
Bro.
Love for that. In a bit.
Safe,
Hey, and as you lot can see, people, you know, again, North London lad, unfortunately, that's my guy. He supports a toilet club, but that's my guy in it. So yeah, that's how he's feeling in relation to Spurs. So you heard it out of a horse's mouth. He's saying if he can grab 100 mil for Kane, he'll take it. I'm saying if I'm City, I'm saying, boy, you know, you need to hold this 75. We might run you a 15 in a couple of years. If he bags a golden boot, there's a 5 here, there's 2 million there, there's 500,000 there, there's a sell-on clause here. It's crazy, man. You know, let me I'm seeing you lot active with your comments as well, man. Danny, let me reload that. Conte will bag the Euro Conference League thing easy. May as well post the trophy now. I think he'll do this. I think he'll do this thing, but if we play devil's advocate, Conte in Europe's a bit booky, you know. Like Inter Milan were a bit booky last year. I swear they dropped out the Champions League, went into the Europa, they were a bit booky. So I hear you, Danny. I agree. It's like, again, with respectfully, who the hell is in the Conference League? You know, it's almost like you have to try harder not to win that thing. But I don't know. And I don't know. Actually, I don't know if it's one of them competitions like the Champs where people from Europa drop into this thing. I don't know. Lo Celso, do you know what? Meaty is probably the right word, but I think it's harsh. I think my boy kind of done Lo Celso a bit dirty there, but I hear it. Of course, bro. Fam, of course he's feeling that. You know, my guy has been, bro, I don't think I understand. When Nuno came in, he couldn't believe it. Like, he sent into the WhatsApp group, he sent a picture of Nuno as the gaffer. He's like, I'll give my man a chance, but we fucked up. Like, we fucked up. He's like, he actually, to be fair, he actually said this, he is not going to make it to Christmas, sorry. You know, he said he's not making it to November/Christmas, and to be fair with you, he almost bang on. Lo Celso or Ceballos, two nitties fighting in the street is the example I give for that. You know, I'd probably say Lo Celso personally. I think Lo Celso, if out of 10 games, I'd probably see a bit more change out of Lo Celso, if that makes sense. I'll have more of a use. Ceballos, do you know what it is with a lot of these footballers when they come Prem, not just at Arsenal, because you're watching these guys on a regular basis now. I look for the IQ, and I'm not gonna lie, Ndombele, Thomas Partey, Keita, Thiago. when I'm watching these guys in the Premier League, it's not that they're not good players. It's like their football IQ is kind of on the. It's not as high as I thought it was. And Ceballos' IQ is on the floor. Like he can do he's very good technically. One thing I liked about him is he's brave on the ball. Like he wants it. But other than that, bro, you ain't got a brain. If you as a midfielder, you're on the edge of your area, rather than clear it or start a counter attack, you're trying to nutmeg people. Bro, you're not sensible. The best performance I've seen from Ceballos is probably when he's trying to fight Nketiah in the warm-up and then they're blessing it and things. And you hear David Luiz thumped him up at training and that. So it's a madness, man. It's an absolute madness. Like, it's crazy, man. That guy was playing against us. Bro, Ceballos was just on some look at me thing. Like, I'm the star boy. I'm here in London for a year or two, but man's Real Madrid. Well, every time just chatting about Madrid, I weren't down for it. But Paratisi, I know I'm not saying this name, Patrici. Yeah, as obviously he's reunited with Conte at Spurs, and for me, on the face of it, I think it could be something good, people. He said he kind of urged fans to calm it down. He said no one can give you assurances to win something, but we have to be focused, committed to this project 100%. This is what we can do and have to do. We have to do the best. I worked with Antonio before and I know him very well. He's a hard worker, has a lot of passion, a lot of knowledge, and is one of the best coaches in the world. The record speaks for itself. And they also said there is no discussion on transfers. Now, come on now. We all know, bro, Conte is not signing unless you say, listen, January, XYZ, I need this. There might not be talks over specific names and that, but come on now. You lot are smart. I'm a okay lad. I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, people. And I think they kind of are there. One love to you lot in the comments. We need to talk about the most complete footballer, João Cancelo, my favorite player to watch at the moment. Bro, I didn't even give him his credit against Man City. He's a fantastic footballer and he played some fantastic passes and had a fantastic assist. And obviously I didn't give on that, shout out to Vinicius Jr. as well. Real purple patch. How Vinicius Jr. has not been called up to the thingy squad, I don't know. The Brazil squad, I don't know, but fair play. If we see 1-2 other bits and pieces, people, about stuff that's going on, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he just said absolute madman. He's compared Ronaldo to Michael Jordan, which I get it, but I mean, come on, you drew 2-2 against Atalanta. So Alex Ferguson would be vexed, it's unacceptable. But he said, we all have our roles and responsibilities. Of course, Cristiano is a leader in the group, but that's what he does. He scores goals. We're not happy he conceded 2 goals, but he does provide those moments. And I'm sure the Chicago Bulls didn't mind having Michael Jordan either. Sometimes teams have the players they have, and that's why they are Manchester United. That's why they are champions at Chicago Bulls. You just have to come up with those moments. And I mean, I hear it, but these moments are too frequent, way too frequent, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I don't know what you're on about there. On the topic of Varane, people, United's official website has said, people, United have provided further information on the extent of the injury suffered by Raphael Varane. The club confirms that that Raphael sustained a hamstring injury, which is expected to keep him out for around a month, people. So yeah, that's Varane done, and they're gonna need him, which was quite silly. I'm not sure if you lot, bro, hella disrespect to Michael Jordan there, and he's not wrong about what he's saying with Ronaldo, but it's the context, bro. It's the fact that, come on. You lot have been bombing it all season, and you lot were rugby against Atalanta, and Oli kind of makes it more of a game than it was. Like, it's not one of them ones, man, bro. Oli Gunnar Solskjaer would piss me off if I was a United fan. He's just taking a piss, really, really, really and truly. Apparently, Sepp Blatter and Michael Platini have been indicted by Swiss authorities over a 1.6 million payment, people. Whether they'll get bagged for this, I don't know, people. They're charged with fraud and other offences by Swiss prosecutors on Tuesday after a 6-year investigation into this payment, people. They now face trial within months at a federal court in Bellinzona. I think that's in Switzerland. Let me copy and paste and confirm that is Switzerland. And to be honest with you, they're gonna bust case. Nothing's gonna happen to them. This is just some headline thing. To be fair, yeah, it's in Switzerland, people. The case was opened in September 2015. Swiss cases often take years to reach a conclusion. So yeah, make of that what you will. I don't think they're gonna be prosecuted properly or anything. But yeah, there's been hotel raids, there's been an investigation. So I'm sure there's a lot of things to say. Away from that, Xavi apparently, is moving closer to becoming Barcelona manager. And he said he wants to return people. El Said are not willing to let him leave despite interest, they said on Wednesday. And as you saw, Qatar, Barcelona, officials traveled to Doha on Tuesday to try and negotiate, and it probably will happen. El Sayed said, we welcome the visit of the administrative delegation from Barcelona, and we appreciate and respect this. The club's position is clear from the beginning. We are committed to keeping our coach Xavi with us, and we cannot have him leave at this sensitive time of the season. Which there you have it, people. He has a release clause of 8.5 million. And he's also said he's focused on the El Saad role as long as he's there. But he said he wants to go home, people. If I look at this other article, people, and it did look like on Wednesday he appeared to bid farewell to everyone in and around the ground, people. He said, I've been talking to Barca for days. It's done. But now it depends on the conversations between clubs. They need to reach an agreement. Barca is coming to talk. We are all eager and excited. We'll see if it ends up being done. I really want to go home. I hope it happens. I have a contract, and now the clubs have to negotiate. They already know my position. So, I mean, he wants to go Barcelona. I want to see if Xavi's actually a good manager, because there's the strong propaganda, and I feed it myself. It's Xavi. Barcelona, Xavi, Spaniard, you know what to expect, attractive football, but I don't know until you manage. Even if you're bullying the thing in the Middle East, I don't know. Is that going to correlate to European football? I don't know. I actually think he's going to be quite a success, but it is a sensitive time to take over Barcelona with the level of playing squad, with the problems off the field, with the financial constraints as well. But that's probably what they need. At least Xavi, until he shows otherwise, good or bad, people will connect with him, resonate with him. Kind of what Oli got initially at United, in that, okay, cool, it's Oli got the social. Obviously, in time to come, you've seen he probably needs to keep it moving, but it's one of them, bro. It's coming like the Arteta PR. We're gonna have to see. I'm surprised Pep Guardiola hasn't said anything about it, man. The captain said after the game, everyone is sad because of Xavi's departure, but he will coach a big team like Barcelona. Xavi presented a new idea to Qatari football and our side players, and helped us as a great player and coach. His ideas led us to achieve a lot despite the criticism. We will miss him a lot. So, yeah, people, Xavi's thing is moving closer and closer. Allegedly, Manchester City are in talks to buy Spartak Moscow. And again, that would be ridiculous, people, if they get such people. They're trying to buy a stake, a 20%. So that tells you probably they're getting their foot in the Russian market to go with all the other clubs that they own / have a part of and things like that, people, which is going to be a madness. Shout out to David Moyes. Again, we'll speak about it more tomorrow, but about his preview the Premier League game. But in relation to the Europa League game, he's set to take his 1,000th game as manager, people. So shout out to David Moyes for that one there, really. Shout out to him. What's the minute on this? 105. Let's call it 106. And then obviously with that, people, to round up this live stream, make sure you're all here at 11:30 on YouTube. We might as well do transfer business, just go through some of these transfer articles and see what is nonsense and not nonsense. So let's check through this. Apparently, Barcelona are ready to accept a January loan offer from Newcastle United for Coutinho with an option to buy. Abira Eze could be a shock return to the Crystal Palace squad ahead of the Wolves game. Newcastle are interested in Bayern Munich defender Niklas Sole. Everton are set to make a January move for Baba from Real Mallorca. Marouane Fellaini revealed he cried when David Moyes got the sack. It's crazy. Apparently, Conte will get nearly 2 million after his next move wasn't to Serie A rivals. Apparently, Barcelona remain keen on Ndombele in January. What a move that could be, I don't know. Surely that's a loan with an option to buy or something. Newcastle are set to appoint Eddie Howe as their new manager, people. Apparently, PSG officials are said to be concerned at the lack of French being spoken by Messi and Pochettino. I mean, I'd say it's for Messi. West Ham are set to open talks with defender Ben Johnson over a new contract with his deal expiring in 2022. Now, he's got no need to want to leave West Ham. You're playing, but I mean, 2022, I can't lie. I'll take Ben Johnson. I'll take Ben Johnson at Arsenal, really and truly. Steady Eddie. Man said Sole too slow for the Premier League. Boy. West Ham are collected to Slavia. Fourth is open, but don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Arsenal that. DG, who are the up and coming managers that you rate? I'd have to sit down and think about that really, because it's difficult to rate managers now. Nowadays, if you just wear the tight tracksuit bottoms and you wear you wear the thingy, you have a tactics board, people start saying you're the next this, that, and the third. I do like Nagusman. He's not really up and coming. There's a couple, man. There's a couple at some Italian clubs as well that play half decent football. I actually like the Porto gaffer, I think he'll have a decent career. I don't know where he's going. Apparently, it's well known Cavani wants to move back to South America, and he's being linked with Brazilian club Palmeiras. Really, what else have we got? This is all Sky Sports. Sky, always find Sky Sports transfer news column quite dead, really and truly. If I'm honest with you, hit the follow button if you haven't done such already, folks. One love to everybody that's tuned in. It's always a pleasure to be here with you lot. Miss Gossip column on the BBC. Tuchemani's been linked with Manchester United as a replacement for Paul Pogba. Apparently, Kylian Mbappe wants to play at the Olympics in Paris in 2024, and he might, in his Real Madrid contract, request a special clause allowing him to do so. Apparently, Emre rejected Newcastle because the club wanted a clause in his contract which would allow them to sack him if the Magpies are relegated at the end of the season. Manchester City apparently have told Leicester City manager Brendan Rodgers they'd be interested in him taking over from Pep Guardiola once the Spaniard leaves the Premier League champions. That would be a good progression, and I think he's learned his lessons, or learned from his quote unquote failures at Liverpool, and he will do better at City. Pretty sure Arteta will be ready by then. Barcelona have been linked with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Cavani, but considering they've got no money, do you believe any transfer rumor that connects your player with leaving? It's a madness, people. Chelsea are considering a move for Bayern Munich defender Kingsley Coman. Barcelona are still hopeful of tying down Dembele to a new deal. One of the signings of the season, Hang Hee-chan, who's on loan from Leipzig at Wolves, they're in talks to turn him on a permanent one. Once again, Ndombele is wanted by Barcelona in Jan, but they may only be afforded the luxury of getting him on loan. Ben Johnson, as I said, is due to be offered an extended contract. Let's go on goal.com now, folks, and see any of the transfer rumors. One love to you lot supporting the team. I appreciate everybody that's locked in. And Haaland's out till Christmas, if you want to know, people. And Jose's being a villain. He's questioned Tottenham's decision to sack Nuno and appoint Conte, people. Probably going to stand behind his fellow Portuguese man. He said Nuno Espirito Santo did a great job at Wolverhampton, not in a year or a few months, but in 4 or 5 years. I could say that now Tottenham have a very good coach, but even before they had a very good coach. What else has he went on to say? I think that's it. So Goal.com's having us on there, people. Transfers. Where's the transfer center? See what's going on here. We've spoke about Coutinho. Conte's been given his work visa. As a result, the head coach will now be able to take charge of Tottenham today on Thursday at home in the Conference League. Villarreal were looking to get Ernesto Valverde to replace Unai Emery. It looks like Michael Edwards, who is the part in Liverpool, the guru, it looked like he would be going to RB Leipzig. That hasn't worked. Barella of Inter Milan is going to sign a new 5-year deal, according to Fabrizio Romano. Apparently, Manchester United have snubbed the chance to sign Eden Hazard, people. Manchester United have turned down the opportunity to sign Eden Hazard in the January transfer window. Real Madrid are obviously open to selling the man. Boca Juniors are fighting for Cavani. We just saw a Brazilian club wanted him. Now he's got an Argentinian club in for him, people. PSG are to rival Barcelona for Frank Kessié. Paul Pogba has no plans to sign a Manchester United contract extension, which, again, I'm sure many Man United fans have made peace with. Wolves are set to try and sign Renato Sanches and bring him back to the Premier League after his loan spell at Swansea. Many people forget. I forget from time to time. So that's the transfer rumors, people, where that's concerned. Obviously, make sure you're on YouTube at 11:30 because I'll be live once again to speak about stuff in that regard. 1:12:20. I mean, across Sky Sports, BBC, and everyone else, that's where we read such. What else are we saying? To stay up to date with DG and when he goes live, follow him on Twitter, deludedguna04 facts. Sky Sports fell off when the In the Nose took over. I hear that. Found it cool. Thanks, bro. No worries, my guy. No worries. No worries, man. One love to you lot tuned in. Free free up Palatini. Martin Keown believes Arsenal can qualify for the Champions League after an impressive unbeaten run. Do you think it's a realistic possibility? It's definitely more realistic, bro. But again, I don't. In our hearts, I know we've been on an unbeaten run, but we don't know what we're getting for 10 games from Arsenal. So with over 20 games and however many points and many twists and turns, and obviously you've got AFCON to come, and you've got you've got injuries that could happen. Arsenal will drop points. I don't know. What I want to see is Arsenal make a real meal of it and we run it all the way. But I don't believe in our chances of getting top four personally. I want to be proven wrong. I would love to be proven wrong, but top four is a myth, you know. It's funny how obviously it should be a couple of results change things, but it's, you know, this is what I mean. The media just goes from one extreme to another. Paul was always leaving. He was always leaving, you know. I'm sure United probably, you know, I'm keen to see what happens in January, because if I'm Pogba, I'm not trying to leave Man United in January unless the club I want wants me. But at the same time, if I'm United, you want to get some peas. You can't sign a man. He leaves for free. You sign him back for a world record fee at the time or whatever, and then he leaves for free again. Do you believe Odegaard was necessary for Arsenal with Smith Rowe's rise? Yeah, generally. I know Odegaard isn't hitting it off. In fact, what we can do, sorry, my guy, just because there's been two very good questions, and I think they can be added to the timestamp. Can Arsenal make top four? Slash, did Arsenal need to sign Odegaard? And for me, it is obviously right now. Smith Rowe is playing well. Odegaard's kind of in the last 3 games gone off the boil, but it's a squad game. There's games where we need both, as you've seen against Spurs. There's games where Smith Rowe isn't at it. There's games where Odegaard ain't at it. There's games we're gonna need both. Need one of the two. Need both of them to play centrally. One to go out wide. None to even play. It's one of them, and I think it helps Smith Rowe because indirectly, he's at the end of the day, he's Arsenal's number 10, and it's a big vote of confidence because Odegaard is still wearing a big number, but could have got that. There's a healthy target on your back. If you're any club, especially a big club, if you're number 10, number 7, number 9, number 5, for me in defense and things, in number 1 as well as a goalie, there should always be pressure. They should always be looking indirectly of if they can get better. So, he's got to relish that. There's no escaping it. But at the same time, maybe he's only really been this higher level, Smith Rowe, for 10 months. This time last year, he weren't in the first team. It was like that. He was a squad player. You come around for the cup games sort of thing, It's a fantastic rise. And I think it might have even helped him that, you've got Odegaard now, you've got other players. So the workload isn't just on him creativity-wise, because I think it's a bit sad that Arsenal over-rely on Saka and Smith Rowe to the point where our performances 9 times out of 10 are correlated to if they play well. Now, there's not too many occasions. There has been some, but there's not too many occasions where Arsenal actually win if these guys are not goal scoring or assisting or quite at it, and it's not healthy. So I would say, considering it's a squad game, it helps us. And what's going to be said when Smith Rowe goes through that little barren patch where he's not doing the most and Odegaard is? Football's a squad game. I'm sure if you look at City, there's been times other players have fell off and other players have done the job. And the same probably goes at Liverpool. There's probably been a time where Firmino or Mane, or probably not, but Salah have gone off the boil and other players have pulled them along. It's a squad game. And unless you've got Lionel Messi, Neymar, Ronaldo, these sort of guys, I don't believe in relying on a single player. And for an Arsenal perspective, I just don't think it's healthy, really. So, yeah, you can look at it and say maybe we could have went for a creative number 8 or someone else with Smith Rowe there. But I think Odegaard's been a good signing. I think last 3 games he's been off the boil, but good signing, young like Odegaard, like Smith Rowe, and a good player as well off his own back. And there'll be times these lot across the season and beyond, they'll be the heroes and then be the villains, such is life, people. Going into the North London derby, rightly so, Saka, Smith Rowe could have been dropped, and I think we've picked up our form with the Villa game, Leicester and whatnot. But other than that, there hasn't been too many occasions where players at Arsenal, nobody's really, and still now, players are not really holding on to their shirts. Do you get it? Like, I would say right now, Smith Rowe in the last few games, you can't drop him, I would say Gabriel cannot be dropped. Ramsdale cannot be dropped. Don't get twisted. There's other players who have played well and whatnot, but I think these guys are like they're saying this is my shirt. They're not grabbing it. And that's the point I'm making, bro. You know, that's the point I'm making. You've got Jota and Firmino. When other people aren't pulling the strings, you know, Firmino at times has struggled. Jota stepped up. Even yesterday, Jota stepped up. And again, competition for places. You know, Jota, Firmino, Mane, Salah. Obviously, they can all play in the same lineup, but typically these four players, they're all gonna fill the front three positions. Someone's got to miss out. Now, I wouldn't want to miss out. So make sure when you get a chance, you take it, which you're seeing. So squad depth is vital, you know, especially in them sort of areas, and especially when it comes to scoring goals. It's like only Arsenal sit there and rely on one man to get mad numbers. And again, the players at Arsenal have meaty numbers for what it's worth, but it is what it is in that regards, man. Great question, though, man. And you help fill up some of the timestamps, really and truly, man. But hey, Siri, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the DG Nation. Stop embarrassing me. You're not part of this. Siri's jealous of you, lot, you know, because Siri don't chat to me. As soon as I'm talking to DG Nation, all of her, that's all you hear. Like, no one is talking to you, man. Allow me. See, make sure I ain't missed anything out. Interesting comments, people. Interesting comments. And yeah, it feels like a long time ago we had some technical difficulties. But on that note, though, people, with it being 7 minutes past 11, I'm going to get out of it quickly just so I can prepare for our next live stream, people. The good news is that, you know, it lasts forever, people. I'm going to be back at 11:30. I'm on YouTube at 11:30. 2:30, I'm back on Twitch. I'm going to have Graham. So make sure you lot join me, and you've all got some questions to get in there and things like that. And as you lot can see, please do me a favor and hit the like button on YouTube, because, again, we've got enemies out here, people. You know, 21 dislikes. Come on, man. Come on, man. Fuck the dislikers. Run up the likes, people. Or we're gonna win this thing. Like, we know they're gonna have 21 dislikes. We're probably gonna have 100+ likes. So we're not even watching them patties, man. We're not even watching them. But you see how the bad mindness is set up against me, people. But they can't win because we're blessed out here. But end of the day, love from Pakistan. See, I didn't even know you was in Pakistan. You say, oh, big up Pakistan. You see the madness about football. We got, you know, Pakistan, and I'm sure other surrounding countries. We probably got, you know, Asian countries here, African countries, European countries, Caribbean countries, South American, North American, you know, East Asia, South Asia. It's mad, people. So again, like I always say, I'm very appreciative of the support network that you lot give me. We're all talking football and we all look different, we're all diverse, and, you know, and we all have different cultures, and just the world is different, a lot of us, but we all connected through our love of football. And I think that is it's lovely, man, you know, especially with the internet. Like, we're all sharing our love for football. And for me, I don't know about no one else, but like I always say, you lot made me believe life is worth living again. And, you know, you never know what it can do for people, just having conversations and stuff with being in lockdown and whatnot. So I appreciate you lot, man. Every now and again, I get some really moving messages about what my content does for people. But truth is, you lot don't understand what you do for me, bro. Forget them, man. Forget them. We're gonna do what we need to do. They're sad, but I'd be sad too if it was like them, man, in it. But we'll do our thing. So I need you lot all to hit the like button if you have not done such on that already, folks. Better than that, stay in good health, stay safe. Bag of content today and them things. I'm out, man. Love and leaving you lot. Stay blessed. Attack your goals. Let's have a week to remember.
Always just that active red flag, defending. I think it's like